My main topic has to do with pickups. And I'm just going to pose this question. You let me know what you think, and I'll give you my 2 cents. But when do you think it is the time to ever change your pickups out? Like, when should you be like, all right, I know for sure I want to change these pickups. This is what I want. When do you actually start that process?
Okay, fair enough. So I think there's maybe a couple different scenarios for it. I think if you've got another guitar that's similar to it, so if you've got a couple Les Paul style guitars, and one of them works really well with your amp, and you've enjoyed having it, and you've got it tweaked just how you want it, and you like the sound that's coming out of it, and then you buy a new guitar, and you really like the guitar, it resonates well, it feels good in the hands, and all these things, and you play it, and you're just not getting the sound out of it that you want. You tweak. I think you got to think about pickup height and
Mm-hmm.
all that type of stuff. You got to be tweaking on that stuff before you give up on the pickups for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Some people adjust all the pole pieces separately. I've fiddled with that in the past, and I've had kind of mixed results with that.
I haven't had good results.
I have better results just raising and lowering the pickup or tilting it slightly.
Right.
I have a lot of good results with that. But as in moving just single pole pieces, no, not really. So I think you need to tweak all that stuff. But if you've got another guitar that's similar and you just like the sound of it so much more after tweaking it, I think it's probably time to start looking at some different pickups. If you love the guitar
Right.
or if you really like the guitar.
Mm-hmm.
That's whenever I would be looking at it. I certainly wouldn't be looking at it right out of the gate. You also have to consider every guitar is a little bit different. Every piece of wood's going to be different. It's going to sound a little bit different. So you have to consider that maybe you just kind of got to get used to it. Maybe it's like a new food that you kind of got to
Yeah.
get used to. And maybe you need to tweak your amp to kind of get it right, or pedals. So I don't know. That's kind of my thoughts. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I completely agree. So you really have to vet that guitar out before you start thinking about pickups. Like, play gigs, play at home. You got to try it in different scenarios because I don't know how many times I've played a guitar at home and I'll be like, man, that's great. And I play it out and I'm like, not happy. And then vice versa. There's also been times where I'm like, man, this bridge pickup is great. Neck pickup, not so great. But then I play it out and I'm like, no, it's pretty much perfect. So to me, you have to vet your guitar and the whole system essentially between your pedal board and your amp, and you have to totally figure out, nope, this is exactly what I'm looking for, or you know what, I've tried out different sounds with the amp, with the pedals, and I just need a little more of this. And that's when you start looking, because until you know the frequencies of what you're looking for, I don't think it's helpful, because
Yeah.
you're just going to be searching for pickups all day
Mm-hmm.
until you find the magic set, which I don't think is the right way to go about it. Of course, I'm cheap, so I don't want to keep spending money. But I think you got to really fine tune what works well in that guitar with your amps and your pedals. Or you can just be like Slash and be like, nope, I'm just going to change everything down on Code 2s.
Yeah, he changes a lot.
If you have a consistent like setup all the time, then and you know what's tried and true, I mean, go for it. But like, if you're like us that plays top 40 hits or plays just classic rock for the most part, typically you're playing with different gain structures, different amps, different pedals, and you just got to have different sounds.
Yeah, I want my different guitars to react differently. So just because the pickups aren't exactly what I expected doesn't mean that they aren't the right pickups for the guitar either.
Right.
And then you go down the whole route of, I've tried certain pickups in some guitars and really loved them and tried them in other guitars and they're awful.
Yep.
So there's that whole thing of just finding the right pickups for the right guitar.
Mm-hmm.
I think probably it's hardest if you're making a dramatic change in pickups. If you've got some pickups in a guitar that are pretty close to what you're looking for, you just need a little brighter. You need a little whatever it is. The attack needs to be different. To completely change, or to change from that to something, a slight difference in pickups is one thing, but to completely change from, if you had like custom buckers in a guitar and you want to change to EMGs or Fluence pickups, the Fishman makes, or all these different pickup companies that are out there. We just talked about how many are out there.
Mm-hmm.
I think it gets harder the further you're getting away from the original pickups.
Unless you're dead set on, I know that's what I want.
Right, like Slash.
Yeah.
He knows that he likes those Allen
Or
Coates
Zach
Pros.
Wilde with EMGs.
Right. And yes, he does use different guitars with different pickups at different times. But he pretty much knows what he's going to get out of those. But I think to make a giant shift, that's hard.
I mean, I've got an Eric Johnson Strat, and I've been fighting that sucker for 7 years now.
Yeah, the pickups.
The pickups. I mean, the guitar I love, which is why I know I want to go down the pickup rabbit hole one day with it, because it's a great guitar. I love it. It just needs a few tweaks with the pickups.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to fall in love with it. But I've been trying to fine tune like what I think are the right frequencies and the right output and the right just general feel for this guitar, because the guitar itself is fantastic. It just needs a little extra help. So I think I'm going to go down the Lawler rabbit hole with those pickups.
Yeah, and it's hard with things like Strats. I mean, I guess all guitars have more than one pickup, but Strats especially, because it feels like sometimes a set of pickups will be really good, or maybe just the bridge is really good,
Right.
or maybe just the neck is really good.
Yeah.
And then you're in the whole thing of like,
Am I replacing one pickup or three?
I've got 3 different pickups in this guitar.
Yeah.
From 3 different companies.
Right.
You know, and then, oh, that's a whole thing.
And then you turn into Brent Mason and you got everything.
Yeah. You got a little bit of it all.
Yeah.
But I think you have to go through it. Like you said, I think you put it really well when you said you got to test things out in live environments, in live action. Live action.
Yeah.
But if you do that, and then you've got something you can kind of compare it to, and you tweak on it as much as you can, and aren't getting exactly what you want out of it, but you like the guitar, that's the time to make the change.
Right.
You know, if you don't like the guitar and you don't love how it feels, or the guitar in general, a pickup change isn't going to do it.
Right.
I hate to tell you, but it's the whole system of the guitar that makes the difference. It's not just the pickups. It's not just this. It's not just that.
Yep.
It's all of it working together. Yeah, that's the time to change those pickups, I think.
Yep.
So you have anything else to add to that?
That's it.
All right. Well, we will see you guys next week.
See ya.